Going live now to see if my hotel room is haunted by the beach. You can hear a disembodied voice at the end. What does it say?
Let's talk about the haunted Duma Beach, where you may get more than just beautiful sunset views should you choose to stay after dark. Duma Beach is a popular tourist attraction in South Gujarat, and it's famous for being one of the 35 top most haunted places in India. It's comprised of 4 beaches, of which only 2 are used. The beach is known for its beautiful black sand, which lends to its spooky aura. It's believed to be haunted because it was an ancient funeral ground for Hindus. According to some, the reason the sand is black is due to the amount of ash that was created when the bodies were cremated. This ash then mixed with the sand. People claim that once the sun sets and night falls, the entire vibe changes and a sense of eeriness engulfs the beach. Those who live near the beach claim to see the spirits of those who were cremated so long ago wandering across it. Visitors often claim that they hear strange sounds, voices whispering, and loud bursts of laughter. Others claim they've seen moving orbs. Some locals say that tourists have gone missing while strolling on the beach at midnight. Apparently, it's not only people who are spooked by the beach after dark. It's reported that dogs around the area start acting oddly once the sun sets, barking and howling at unseen threats. There's a story that a group of friends decided to check out the beach one night to see if it was haunted for themselves. They visited all 4 beaches and took a bunch of photos throughout the night. When they uploaded these photos to a laptop, they noticed several orbs. Whether these orbs indicated a presence of spirits or were just a byproduct of the flash remains unclear. If you're looking to visit during the day, Duma Beach is a popular tourist destination that's full of life. But if you choose to stay after dark, you might find it to be a little dead.
Let's look at some hauntings in Long Beach. Rancho Los Cerritos, a historic home and museum. It is open for tours in the garden, bird watching, and sometimes even yoga. So, why is this place haunted, you might ask? There are 2 different stories to this haunting. Some say around 300 people died of a plague there, while the most common story is that over 50 Native American graves were uncovered when the golf course was being laid out. After that, guests began to feel watched and followed, and the bathroom became the biggest hotspot. Guests report seeing things move and hearing distorted voices. Also, a rocking chair moves on its own. One of the ghosts that haunts this place is Don Juan Temple, who is furious his ranch got sold to make room for a golf course.
Today we went to the haunted Moss Beach Distillery in Moss Beach, California. But I say it's Half Moon Bay. It's about 20 miles south of San Francisco. It's an old speakeasy with a haunted past. You can't really beat the views here, and if you can get a seat on the patio, it's a lovely day. So here's the main bar and dining room. Most of this is original and unchanged, and pretty much what everybody would have seen back during Prohibition. Again, the views are spectacular. This probably has one of the nicest parking lots I've ever seen. They have chairs you can sit in the parking lot, and you have this point view, which is pretty awesome. And here you can see how the restaurant sits on the cliff. And yeah, really nice parking lot. If you have a chance, definitely hit it up. Moss Beach Distillery.
I didn't know love, do you alright, babe? Losing the line, I know you like it. Cause I just know you're feeling this too. Yeah, this too. I living on me, so I'm holding my time. Looking for love, baby, never I find. When I wanna love you, when I wanna stop time. I living on me, so I'm holding my time. Looking for you, boy. Na 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 na. It's like you, boy. Na 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 na. It's like you, boy. Na 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 na.
The most haunted beach in the world, Changi Beach Part 2. And real quick, if you missed Part 1, I would suggest going to watch it first. Now that you guys know a little bit more about the history of this beach, here's what people have been reportedly seeing and experiencing while at this beach. First off, there have been countless reports of weeping, wailing, crying, and screaming for help in the middle of the night at this beach with nobody else around. There have been the sounds of gunshots echoing across the water. Others have seen puddles of blood form bubbling up from the sand, not to include the many times that people have seen heads bobbing in the water with no bodies, others seeing headless bodies walking across the water, and others have even claimed to see a ghostly reenactment of what happened that night when the 66 men were brutally murdered. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you would ever go to this beach, and tag a friend who you'd go with, or forced to go with you. Stay spooked. One of the most haunted beaches in the world, with 66 deaths, headless ghost apparitions, and all stemming from World War II. This is Changi Beach. Located in Singapore, this beach started to get some ghostly traction when 66 men were brutally murdered at this beach. All of them were tied to one another and forced to walk into the beach approaching the water. And the second they reached the water's edge, they were immediately gunned down and shot. Those who did not die from the gunshot wounds were left to sit and drown in the water. And to make matters even worse, all of the victims' bodies were recovered and then brutally hacked apart just to ensure death. Now, this is just the history of the beach. I will be posting part 2 in literally 2 seconds, so stay tuned. One of the most beautiful beaches in Australia is also known as one of the most haunted beaches in the world. This is Jenny Dixon Beach. Apparently this beach is not haunted by only one, but 2 different ghosts. The first is an apparition of a woman who can be seen hitchhiking supposedly after a terribly brutal assault, which apparently took place in the 1970s. The other apparition you can see is another woman who is walking across the shoreline, supposedly crying about her lost child after a shipwreck. She can be seen with her arms stretched out in front of the ocean on the edge of the shoreline. Now, this incident supposedly happened in the early 1900s, due to the fact that the locals who have spotted her have seen her in clothing appropriate to that time period. But what makes this beach even more eerie to me is that these aren't evil spirits. They're both just really depressed over really unfortunate events. Don't forget to drop a comment, let me know if you would ever go to this beach, and don't forget to follow because there are way more to come. Stay spooked. The most haunted beaches in California, Part 4, Manhattan Beach. Rumor has it that if you walk underneath the pier right before sunrise, you'll have a very terrifying surprise waiting for you. Locals have reported seeing dead children crawling out of the water at this time. But, as if it couldn't get even more disturbing, every local who has seen them crawl out of the water say that the dead ghost children start bleeding out of their eyes and their mouth the second their body emerges from the water. And as always, comment down below if you would go to this beach or not, and if you would, tag a friend who you'd go with. Or tag a friend who you would force to go with you. Also, don't forget to follow and like for way more creepy beach stories and beyond. Stay spooked.